This is an example of how to add Catalina web services to your .NET project. First, load Visual Studio and create a new project. In this example, we'll be creating a Windows Form application. And let's call it ctAPI example. Next, let's add web references to the web services. For the first reference, let's add Catalina's Orders web service. And let's give it the name ordref. And then add the reference to the project. Next, we'll add the customer web reference. And let's call this custref. And then add the reference to the project. One thing we like to do is store configurable values in your app or web config. This is easily done by double-clicking on properties and adding settings to your project. In this example, we will be defining several settings that relate to the license for the Catalina Technology web services. This way, you will be able to change your license settings without having to recompile your code. These license settings will be given to you by Catalina Technology. They include license key, license name, software name, site key, and site ID. Let's also add company ID just to make it easy to use and change at a later date. Once you've entered all the values you want to save, you should then be able to save them to your settings. Now let's do some coding. To make it easy to access your web services, we like to encapsulate our properties using get and set. We will do this by creating properties for both the order service and the customer service. We'll first create private variables for each, then we'll create a get for each one and set the state of the property. Here, the ord_svc property, we are setting all the SOAP headers and setting their values to property settings we created earlier. You can see these are controlled by your web or app config. Let's also create a cust_svc property for the customer web service. Now let's use our encapsulated property. It is very simple to call the ordserve property, which ties back to the Catalina Technology order web service. This is an example of all it takes to retrieve an order from Dynamics SL, and we can now browse all of the fields that come back from the order. Hopefully this gives you some insight on how easy it is to add Catalina Technology web services to your .NET projects. You can find more examples and the source code for this demonstration at www.catalinatechnology.com.